Okay, I think we're more or less all back now, so we'll push on. Now move to a paper from Naomi that's got some really quite profound and positive implications for a large section of our workforce, and this subject matter has been around for a while and it's now coming to fruition, which is great to see. So pass over to Naomi to present this before we make a decision. Naomi.
Thanks, Mark. So this work is a national piece of work which is specifically around healthcare support workers. The profiles have been reviewed and updated nationally in light of the role taking on delegated nursing tasks, meaning that Band 2 role has expanded over time. All trusts have been asked to review their job descriptions and assess their existing staff based on those updated profiles. We've now completed this work. We've made an agreement that back pay will be paid for anybody affected and anybody who is actually working aligned to Band 3 national profile rather than the Band 2. And this will be backdated to a maximum period of the 1st of August 2021, which is at which point the profiles were reviewed. And any effect in terms of enhancements will be pay protected until people reach the top of the Band 3. This is aligned to the majority of NHS trusts and the approach that they have taken with their staff. We've also worked closely with staff side, and they've been informed all the way along about the process and the implications for staff. We're looking to make payments to staff by the end of March, but we have offered to staff that if they need payments in instalments, then this is something we can offer due to other implications for them. So the ask is to approve the costs for this piece of work. So the costs are outlined in the paper, which back pay is circa just over 1 million, and then there's ongoing recurring cost of about 500,000, and there's also a provision there for any leavers. These provisions financially have already been put aside for this financial year, and the provision has been made for the next financial year and ongoing costs for this.
Thank you, Naomi. Before I open it out to any questions, I would like just to ask our Director of Finance just to offer comment, please, on the back pay and the provision going forward, please.
Thanks, Chair. So the £1 million indicative figure, we did put a provision in the 23-24 accounts last financial year of nearly £1 million. So that's sat as a provision on our balance sheet. So we have a very, very small cost pressure this year, and that is managed and forecast within our current 24-25 outturn position. For next year, the £467.5 million, that will be a cost pressure, and that will be factored into our budget setting process. We have done an indicative plan for 25-26, and that does include that as well. So, and we will end the year with the leavers potential cost of putting the full provision again this financial year for that as well. So all provided for and all taken into account.
Thank you, Denise. I think that's obviously a key factor in our decision making there, but I just wanted to hear it directly from you. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions on what's set out in the paper, or any questions perhaps about the implementation at all about this? I presume this has been through to subcommittee leaders, it's been through to for your committee to kick the tires in essence, hasn't it? We've heard a lot about this, and I'm delighted it's come to fruition now, and also pleased that you indicated that should staff wish to have their back pay allocated in a beneficial way, that can also be discussed with them, which is great to see. If there's nothing else, this paper is asking us to approve what is there, and Denise is also reminding us, of course, that it went through to Beej in F&P. Beej, did you wish to offer comment?
Only just to say that we had a decent kick around and a useful discussion on this. No doubt they did at People and Culture as well. One particular point, and it was mainly the ethics around the potential costs around leavers, was discussed in some detail, but suffice to say, the committee was comfortable to progress and recommended to the board to sign off.
Thank you very much. So with that assurance, both I saw Vina nodding as well, having had a good look at it work. I'm sorry, People and Culture Committee. I'll get there. And F&P, and with Denise's comments as well. Board, can we approve the content of that paper and instigate the payments as quickly as our colleagues and team can do? Yes, no dissenters, so thank you. We consider that approved, and I'm delighted we can get to that position. It's been something that's been asked about now for quite a while, hasn't it? Thank you. Okay, we move now on to our more standard reports as we go through the agenda. Three double acts to start with. We'll start with the Quality Safety Committee and Quality Safety reports. Janet, Stroke, Natalie, John.
Thank you, Mark. I'll kick off. I'm going to take the report as read. I think everybody's probably used to the format by now because we've used it for several months. And I wanted to note that we have no matters of alert for the board this month. I did want to just, I suppose, say a bit more about a couple of the items on here. I wanted to actually alert the board, tell the board that we started the work on thinking about our quality account priorities for 2025-26. We had a sort of scoping paper of the things which we might want to consider and had a discussion around those. And one of the things that we did talk about actually links to a bit earlier on the agenda from our patient story around trying to incorporate the work around health inequalities and the patient literacy, if you like, our communication with patients, and trying to bring that in some way into possibly one of our quality account priorities for next year, because we recognise how important it is. But that will continue the discussion on that, and that will obviously come to board for sign-off in the future. We've had a number of reports about CQC must-dos that came out from the CQC inspection, which took place now. I think I'm right in saying, was that in 2023? It was, wasn't it? And we have expressed concern at the Quality and Safety meeting that we are still working on the must-dos. But I do need to pay tribute to Sean Tudge, who's picked that work up and really been working very hard to pull those together. And at the last meeting, we actually we did sign off 7 of the submissions of the I think there were 28 in total, and we signed off one at a previous meeting. And now we have put in an extraordinary meeting of the committee next week to actually hopefully sign off the remaining 20. So a lot of work has been going on in the interim to get that completed, and I think we'll all be very pleased to know and to when we actually manage to get all of those signed off. We've also under our any other business at that meeting, we do routinely get reports through from internal audit on the internal audits they do, looking at clinical issues. I think, again, the board will recall that we do take a risk approach to that and tend to ask internal audit to look at the areas where we may already have some concern. And we have had internal audits in the past where we have had low assurance. At this meeting, we heard that there is one in the pipeline looking at consent and documentation for patients who are sectioned and given treatment. And actually, we had a report that this is going to give us actually weak assurance, which is quite concerning. The report wasn't finalised in time for our QNS meeting 2 weeks ago. But the other reason for putting in our extraordinary QNS meeting next week is so that we can look at that audit and actually scrutinise the audit, but in particular the actions that we're looking at putting in place going forward. Because we are aware, and we have had discussions in the past about how important that is, and how we do seem to have issues around consent and documentation. So that will be coming to our extraordinary meeting next week as well. The final thing I wanted to say was that you'll notice in the report that we did actually receive a number of annual reports. infection control and resuscitation and safeguarding, amongst others. And I think we felt that we probably weren't able to give those reports quite the attention that we ought to, because we didn't have the authors of the reports there. So going forward, we're going to invite the authors, because these reports are people put a lot of time and effort into putting them together. And we feel that it would be valuable if we can actually have the author there, so that we can give them the full attention that we ought to, and be able to scrutinise them. So I think that was all I wanted to pick out from the report. I know Natalie will look at the quality report that comes along with this meeting, but happy to take any questions at this stage.
Thank you, Janet. Sue has a question or clarification. Sue.
Yes, it is clarification really. So with the extraordinary meeting and looking at this audit, am I right in thinking that CPAG has a role over these audits, in that they're involved in commissioning them and they are ultimately responsible for getting things right, or just could someone talk me through where CPAG sits in relation to what we do on Q&S about this low assurance level?
Can I just come in and say, as far as commissioning the audits, we have a meeting, and we had one I think a couple of weeks ago, of the chair of the committee, execs and internal audit, to actually look forward, the year coming up, and look at what areas we'd like to audit, internal audit look at. So that's how we make the decision around which area is going to be audited. As far as the role of CPAG, I don't know if John wants to comment, because obviously he chairs CPAG, but I'm not sure quite what role they have. John?
I don't know whether Robert wanted to comment on that.
Yes, probably it was just a position. Yes, there's quite different roles. So in terms of the overall internal audit programme, Sue, that's something that we agree through audit committee on an annual basis. I believe actually it's through it goes through the March through the February audit committee. As Janet described, that covers some things that you have to audit, some quite specific requirements, and then a broader expectation. So that's where we draw in discussions with the lead executive committee chairs. The purpose of the internal audit reports, so I suppose I draw out, is they are checking things that should be operating, so current systems, current processes, things you should be doing, and that's very much the focus of those. I think CPAG, which John might add a little bit of colour to, is our body set up, I think since during COVID, actually, John, to help us make decisions about changes we're either going to make or things that we want to do. So it's more of a, I'm going to say, perspective look forward. I think it does a few other things, but John, do you want to just add a bit?
Yes. So CPAG, it's a clinical and professional advisory group. So it would advise on any kind of national guidance that comes through, any kind of regional, local guidance and directive, but also, as Rob said, if we are making any service changes, quality impact assessments come to that for ratification. So it's a group of senior leaders, operational clinical leaders across to help support decision making at an executive level.
Thank you, John. Sue, would you come back?
Yeah. So I suppose the thing is with an audit when it's low assurance, you would hope that there's a mechanism for ensuring that what wasn't right is put right and then reported to board. And I suppose I was thinking in my mind that was maybe CPAG oversaw it. But I just wondered who will make sure that whatever deficiencies have been uncovered do not get uncovered again, that things get improved.
So I know Martin wants to come in a bit later. That should be our systems of internal governance and assurance. So we have a number of different ways that through IG integrated governance, but fundamentally this audit, Sue, that route up through Quality and Safety Committee. Audit Committee clearly has a slightly different role in this, which is one, to review the audits and just provide an opinion around whether the responses and the actions and so forth are appropriate, but they also have a role which we discharge through the year on an annual basis of assuring the trust board and organisation that the committees and structures are actually fulfilling their role in terms of providing that control and governance. So, Martin, I saw you want to come in, but that it should be through our normal governance routes, and in this case primarily up to Q&S, with a slightly different role for audit committee.
I think you answered the point Martin was probably going to make about the committee that Martin chairs. Okay, thank you, Janet. If there's no other questions, can we note Janet's report on Quality and Safety Committee, please? Thank you. And then move to Natalie with her Quality and Safety report. Natalie.
Thanks, Mark. Again, I'll take the report as read to pull out some highlights. Ongoing work in relation to the Patient Safety Response Framework. Hopefully you'll be able to see that incidents are remaining within our expected trajectories. So it would be helpful to point out there a new process we started a while ago with daily incident triage, looking at all incidents that occur. So now the team triage 1,100 incidents every month to ensure they've been aligned to the right category, that we're taking the right appropriate follow-up steps. And we are really delighted to welcome the new Deputy Head of Patient Safety and Quality. We've had a gap there for over 6 months. They bring a wealth of experience in different organisations related to PSURF, so they're going to help a refresh and relaunch of our work towards PSURF. They arrived a couple of weeks ago, which is brilliant. And clinical effectiveness, work continues in relation to clinical audits outlined in the report. Particularly wanted to pause and talk about clinical policies for a moment. As you'll see in the report, we've identified a key issue relating to the current situation around clinical policies. As the report was written, there are 187 clinical policies, 45% of which are proven in date and uploaded to our intranet, which is how our staff access them. The team have undertaken a significant piece of work. They've revised the process from start to finish, and really pleased that as of today we now have 82% compliance rates, which means we have 30 policies that are still going through the process. 11 of which will be approved at the next Q&S or the next clinical policies group, and the rest are just awaiting their EIAs to be reviewed and signed off, or some minor amendments from clinical policies group. So they will be all approved by the end of February, and we now have a really robust policy and process in place to ensure that that is maintained and the quality of those clinical policies is maintained. Moving on to patient relations experience engagement. Again, just noting the really good work of our complaints and PALS team in relation to the response rates, which are now consistently sitting above 90 to 95%. More complex complaints sometimes do take a little bit longer, but we always negotiate that with the person raising any issues. We have work to do in relation to top themes still being waiting for appointments and lengthy waiting, particularly affecting our children, young people, families, specialist primary care service delivery units. And in relation to patient engagement, care opinion is now in its final rollout. So rollout part phase 6 commenced in December, and as Sue alluded to earlier, we have a whole raft of other engagement work, such as the on-site advocacy work. Care opinions continue to be really well seen by some teams, and the report identifies particularly our podiatry team in the last couple of months being our top responders and using it. Other teams still not getting the stories that they've hoped through that, and that's again working through what's the most appropriate format for patients to engage with us, and making sure each service has the right one. And finally, in relation to regulatory compliance, we had one mental health visit in October 2024, and some minor actions which have all now been signed off and are in place, but also some positive comments about the staff engagement, caring, and the physical environment.
Thank you, Natalie. Does anybody have any questions or points to raise with Natalie? Carol.
Hang on. Sorry, I thought I was muted. No, really, it's just an acknowledgement. I think you've got a reference in the report there to Carer Oversight Group. I went to the one on Monday, and I really just want to acknowledge the huge amount of work that's going on in that field. There's been a big gap in the system across Herefordshire and Worcestershire, because although there's a commitment to carers, there's been nothing to actually make it happen. And now the trust, the oversight group, and the trust are taking a lead in producing little video, talking heads videos, training materials, which will no doubt be used across the system. So I really just wanted to acknowledge that really good work that's happening, and just how seriously the trust is taking that, both for carers of our patients who are carers, and also staff who are carers as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. It's an important update, that is. It is. Okay, one thing I was going to mention, Natalie mentioned policy, you heard, and just to update probably my non-executive colleagues, I've been in conversations with, or communication and conversations, Natalie, Scott and Bob, about, you will have noticed that we had, I'm using the past tense now, some issues with keeping all our policies across the trust updated, reviewed, etc. And that was common across both corporate, clinical and other policies. And I've been having conversations with Robert Notley and Scott in terms of improvement. And we've picked that up to make sure there are processes in place now, so that we don't get behind the game. And it's not just clinical policies or HR policies or other corporate policies. So there are processes in place to make sure that we do capture and coordinate the reviewing and the updating of policies across the board. I want my colleagues to be aware of that. Okay, can we note Natalie's report? Thank you, Natalie. An important stuff. Thank you very much. Okay, all noted, and we'll move on then to the next double act, which will be Vina and Naomi, I suspect, and Workforce Committee and Workforce Support. Vina.
Not Workforce Committee.
All I can say is that's what it says on the agenda. So I'm just doing. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
So this was the first time that we met formally as the People and Culture Committee. We'll get there. And we considered a report from the three subcommittees that have been formed to cover culture, EDI, attraction and recruitment. And it was reported to us at PCC that subcommittees were well attended, good representation, positive feedback was received, specifically with participants stating that they felt engaged and involved, and that they could see the sense of the proposals from the data that was shared, and they felt that the objectives and targets that have been set are realistic and achievable. And that buy-in from stakeholders is obviously critical if we're going to see any meaningful change. So that was really good to hear. It's obviously early days in terms of how those committees are operating and reporting up to PCC, and there will be a lot of fine-tuning to make it as effective as we can. For example, we agreed that whilst having a report that summarised the activities of those three committees was a useful start, actually moving forward, we need to see three separate reports with action plans and real transparency as to who is doing what by when, and most importantly, the impact of those actions. So we hope that should enable us to have more meaningful discussions to obtain the assurances that we're seeking, and ultimately see a new movement in the dials and in relation to those assurance levels, which have stubbornly not moved very much over the past couple of years, I think. Sickness and absence formed a large part of our discussions. The integrated workforce report highlighted pretty consistently high sickness and absence levels, primarily due to flu-related absences and stress. And coincidentally, a sickness audit by 360 Assurance was also considered at some length. And we've been provided with limited assurance as to how we're managing absence in the trust. I think it's fair to say that a robust discussion around that place And there is an acknowledgement that we've got to get better at ensuring that our managers know how to support staff, that they do in fact manage sickness absences, and that we're doing everything we can to ensure that we provide a working environment that encourages our staff to attend work on a reliable basis. They only can provide further details about that, but in view of how significant an issue that is, it is now being brought into the subcommittees as a specific set of objectives. And this is where we see how the subcommittees should be really effective. So in the next month's attraction, retention, recruitment committee, there's going to be a focus on session to look at data around stress-related absences, how much that contributes to people leaving, for example, with a view to agreeing some actions. And Noemi and her team are working with our health and wellbeing lead as well as our health and safety team to look at best practice, learn from those NHS organisations that are really effective in dealing with this. And there are some key measures that are already in motion. So we've got a new sickness policy that's been drafted. We know that a policy alone can't fix the problem, but it does provide transparency as to what our managers and staff members can expect. There's been an issue with duplicate sickness recording that's been addressed. From April, HR are going to be delivering training on the new policy and recording methods. We know that there's an issue with return to work meetings, how effective those meetings actually are, how they're documented. That's an area that's being reviewed. And we're also going to be implementing a new business partner model, which should result in closer working between HR professional and leaders in clinical and corporate teams. So we've agreed that it's an area that we need to keep under review, only to ensure the health and wellbeing of our staff. So that formed a large part of the discussions. We had a detailed discussion also around EPR. The impact of replacing care notes, the current EPR system, with Rio, which should be by the summer of this year. Our Director of Digital, Lisa, presented a really thorough paper on this and provided assurance not only on the level of staff engagement that's already taking place, but also on all the training and the support that's being rolled out. We're very mindful of how stressful and frustrating it can be dealing with a new system, particularly on our staff already time challenged. So we did question Lisa quite a bit, and she handled it really well. She was able to provide assurance on a number of key points. And I really want to congratulate Lisa and her team on all the hard work in this area. We were assured that actually there's a 12-week countdown transition already started. We have been assured as to how much priority has been given to the training, to the extent that staff won't receive logins until that training has been completed. There's the Bringing It to You campaign to deliver training in work environments and online. There's going to be webinars. There's going to be social media campaign. We have Rio reps who are going to supervise and support staff. So overall the discussion really emphasise careful planning and comprehensive training and those support mechanisms are in place to ensure a smooth transition. And then finally, we discussed our staff survey. As Scott explained, early data has been shared, but the full data set is embargoed until March. We do know that the response rate was 52%, which is a 9% increase from the previous year. That's a real credit to everyone involved in managing the staff survey this year, and indeed to our staff for taking the time to engage. The data from the survey, as Scott explained, will be available, I think, from the end of the month to support planning and create action plans based on survey results. The point I just wanted to make is that we are really keen to ensure that we act on the feedback that we receive from that staff survey. So we've scheduled an extraordinary meeting in early March to discuss those action plans for each SDU and ensure that we keep up the momentum. Ultimately, these surveys provide us with a really vital tool for measuring success or otherwise in relation to all this work we're doing, all these initiatives that we're undertaking. So having really pushed the importance of engaging in the survey, it's now important for us to demonstrate that we're listening. I think we've covered everything. Any questions? I'm very happy to take all. I don't know whether you want to... Yeah?
Colin.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I wanted to really support the comments you made about the importance of health and well-being of our people, and again commend the initiatives being taken around supporting our staff in the workplace. I guess that we get multiple benefits from those initiatives, not just helping us to manage sickness and stress, but also being seen in the marketplace as an employer who really cares about his people. And so the inevitable question from those comments is, are we doing as much as we can? Are we moving as fast as we would like in order to establish being the best we can be in that area?
I think probably Naomi and Scott may have something to say about this as well, but we can always do more. But you know, Colin, that's a really interesting point because I've learned of a recent post that we've managed to recruit into, which is quite a difficult post to recruit into, and they have chosen to move to our trust, travel quite a distance to our trust because of the experience they had of working with our colleagues in the past. And I think well-being and culture and recruitment are so tied in together. I can't overstate how those three areas are linked. And if we don't tackle stress levels, if we don't tackle behaviours, culture, we're never going to properly fix the recruitment issue either. So in answer to your question, no, we're not doing enough. But nobody's ignoring the problem. I think that's a fair response.
Thank you, Vivian. Scott, did you wish, before I go to the beach, did you wish to offer a particular comment on the point that Colin raised before I then go to the beach?
Yeah, it really was really. Vida said it far more eloquently than I was going to. This has to be an absolutely continuous process of making sure we understand the needs of our staff. And there is variation in all of those across the trust in terms of team, area, and by trying to drive that consistency through our managerial approach, that'll give a little bit of a basis to build from. But yeah, nothing further to add what Vida said.
Okay, thank you. Come to Beej now, and then Naomi.
Did Naomi want to complete whatever the subject was now, Mark? I'm very happy for Naomi to go first.
Thanks, Beej. Yeah, I was just going to add to that to say that it is about the whole cultural piece, and the key thing is it's great to have a policy, and it'd be really useful to have an up-to-date policy, but it's also about how it's applied, isn't it, and how it's applied in a compassionate way, and that's where the resolution approach and that whole piece of work will be really important into actually how we're treating people on a day-to-day basis.
Thanks, Naomi. Beej.
A couple of quick ones, if I may. I'm a huge advocate of strong networks. I think networks that have a decent number of members that meet regularly and solicit input from their membership across a range of areas, and also networks that encourage both the group that they support as well as allies of that group. I don't like the word allies necessarily, but I think we all know what I mean. I'm a big fan of that. I just wondered how they're playing into your EDI subcommittee and whether they're all represented, and if there's any more work we need to do. I recognise sponsorship by execs and NEDs of certain committees might also help, and if there's anything more we can do as a board to make sure the network's engaged and growing in numbers. That was my first question. Should I tell you my second one as well? Maybe answer together. My second one very quickly was a plus 9% increase in survey results is fantastic. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. You know, organisations dream of that stuff. There must have been, for that to happen in a single year, there must have been some very specific actions we can look at and identify and therefore attempt to replicate. So it's more a comment. I'm sure it's on everybody's radar that it needs to be. But that's, you know, if we keep going in that trajectory, it's just a phenomenal result.
Thanks, Beach. Naomi.
Yeah, I was just going to come in on the network point. So, we did have really good engagement with all three subcommittees, including the EDIU one, which took place in January. There is a lot more we could be doing. There's a lot of national guidance out there about networks and what we need to do to support our networks, which we really need to take on board and have a look through. So there's a piece of work at the moment being led by the ICB, which is engaging with all of the network leads across all of the trusts to start looking at that national piece of work, and they're actually doing a presentation in March to the people board with the kind of outcomes of that. They've done a survey, they've got recommendations, with then the ask that the trusts take that forward individually and have a look at what we need to be doing differently.
Thank you. Vina, are you going to contribute to what was already been said, or something separate?
It's just in relation to the response rate. You're absolutely right, Bede. There was a mammoth effort across the board to get those figures up, and Scott, Andrew Haslett and their teams really worked flat out. And actually, I think a number of lessons have been learned. Initiatives that they took this year that really made an impact, and there's a number of changes that I think have already been put in place. So, for example, we're not going to have so many pulse surveys rather than having 6 a year. I think there's going to be 3 a year. Have I got that right, Scott? So that we're not going to our staff every other week and asking them to tell us how they feel. But when we do go to them, we've got to make it meaningful. I think we've again, I don't think we've got there yet. There is still more that we can do. We've hit the average point. We want to do better than that as well.
Thank you. Scott, did you quickly want to say something?
Just to build on that, really. So if we hadn't done the work we did to increase the upgrade rate, would have been one of the bottom three trusts in the country in our sector. Whereas now it's pretty much smash bang in the middle of the pack in terms of uptake rate. The really important thing is that staff see and feel the difference based upon their feedback. The localised SDU level and service level plans. We intend to be localised and actually doing things staff say they want to see as being different. Also through Sue's team working on we're calling listen, learn and improve. It's as you said, we did approach so we can make sure we're properly sharing the successes and the progress that we're making.
Thank you, Scott. And on that subject, before I move to Naomi, can I ask that via the two reports between Naomi and Vina, can I ask that we are, as a board, kept updated and up to date on the initiatives, the work plans that are being done by SDU, so we're kept up about the implications of the staff survey moving forward, and then, of course, we'll be into the next round of staff survey before we know it. Okay, thank you. Can we, with that, can we note Vina's report? And Vina, thank you for the contribution. It's absolutely fundamental to our improvement. Everything you've just talked about around our people. And then note that, and then move to Naomi, please.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. So in terms of the key risks that have been identified that this report addresses, so we have the vacancy levels in mental health. So the attraction and retention group had their first meeting, and we've identified the kind of hotspots across the trust that really need the initial focus. We've had a look at national data, we've had a look at benchmarking, and we've come up, which are in the paper with some initial kind of targets and key objectives. We've had a look at the reasons that people are leaving, and some of those particularly focus on work-life balance issues and career pathways, career progression. So the working groups are now meeting to come up with a really defined set of objectives to look at addressing some of those areas. The culture committee also met, and again, like we said, these are all very much linked. And the key thing within the culture committee was looking at the leadership support and skills, including the managing and leading together training, and the compassionate, ongoing compassionate and inclusive work and training following on from the kind life. In terms of, I know we've talked a lot about the well-being, but that was also addressed as we needed to address the key issue, and there was a focus on session in February that will come through the subcommittee, and that will be looking at best practice, it will be looking at within the trust areas that we're doing particularly well, that are areas where there's lots of really good supportive mechanisms in place for staff. So what can we learn from that? What can we learn nationally? What are some of the more focus pieces, the stress risk assessment, our reasonable adjustment, those offers, are they clear, are they right, are they working, are they supporting people? So that work will come through there. And then finally, the EDIE subcommittee wasn't able to meet in December, but we did meet in January, and we've got another meeting in February. Again, we had to look a lot of our data through there, a lot of where nationally we're a bit of an outlier. And initially identified three key areas. So one is about our disability declaration rates, and we had discussion that's almost the end point of people actually declared it on ESR. To get there, it's why aren't people feeling they do want to declare it? Is part of that just the mechanism which we deal with is part of it that people aren't feeling safe, comfortable declaring it, and why is that? So we're doing a really good piece of work, and we acknowledge that actually across the Midlands and other areas, people have made really good progress on this. So again, part of those groups will be really linking into that best practice and actually how other people manage to shift that, and what can we learn from that and put into place. Our other areas about inclusive recruitment, there's a lot of work that's gone on with this again, particularly in the ICB about inclusive recruitment policies, some really tangible things about actually making sure our basics of our person specifications are actually inclusive, making sure our recruitment methods, we're using a variety of methods, and we're trying to do all we can to give everyone the opportunity. So again, we're linking in with the ICB and looking at what actions we can put in as a result to try and improve this. And the final area was generally about the experience of bullying, harassment and abuse, and how there is really a distinction between our staff from ethnicity or staff with disabilities and their experience of this. And this also links back into some of the work we've discussed in terms of the culture piece, in terms of making sure our policies are supportive, in terms of that resolution approach. And as already has been mentioned, we are actively, I think we have 6 individuals on the active bystander training, which is a trainer approach, which will then be rolled out across the trust, and that will be system-wide, people offering training and supporting us in that. So I think those were the main points.
Thank you, Naomi. As we've seen, all that's just discussed between Naomi and Vina is absolutely in the middle of our improvement programme, and fundamental to our success. Culture is really important. If there are no questions, can we note Naomi's report, please? Thank you. And we'll move on. Gain a bit of pace, and we'll move on to Beach underneath. I suspect first.
I'll help you gain a bit of pace. I think, Mark, because I think to avoid duplicating the detail that Denise will no doubt cover just after I've been, I'll just go through the highlights if I may. Firstly, we've summarised our report in the same fashion as quality and safety and culture to try and make things easier on the audience. And you can see we've got a number of things that we want to make sure that we're alerted on. These remain areas of operational interest to the committee. We've had useful debates on all of these, either in the last meeting or certainly in the more recent meetings at F&P. And of course, in this board, we've heard about some of those, such as out-of-area placement Matthew went through earlier. I'll pick up on a few items, if I may. The first one is agency, and whilst we've given it an assurance level of 4, month 8, we're on plan and we're delivering exactly the budget. But there are some concerns or questions as to how year end might turn out. But we're going into it, I guess, more rigidly and concerning ourselves whether we might spend out. But I think Matthew and his team have got a really good handle on agency, and I suspect we'll come close to budget. In terms of medium-term financial planning, I just want to let the board update on the fact that system finance committee meets every month is currently digesting a considerable amount of detail that each of the provider trusts providing in respect of medium-term financial planning, i.e. how do we recover from the deficit position we're at the moment to something that starts to look like break even in the medium-term horizon. We've contributed to that discussion in some detail. Denise and the team have done a fantastic job. Of course, that time frame is fraught with assumptions. We're making so many assumptions as to what the numbers might look like in 3, 4, 5 years' time. There's lots of caveats, lots of asterisks all over. However, it starts to just put a final destination on the sat-nav, as it were, and starts to point focus us in having the right type of debate. Rachel Hardy, that is the chair of the finance committee, is very keen for all of the providers and for the system picture to be developed ASAP. Finally, I just draw on the EPR assurance that we received. And just as Vina said, from a people in culture perspective, which will have heard about the human impact, staff impact, debate matters in more detail. We heard from Lisa and also from Adam Brown, PIRA, the external assurance organisation, giving us some assistance and support, that things are going well. Whilst we have deliberated whether this assurance level of 5 or 4, we agreed to give it a 4, but I see this very quickly with the diligent work and focus the guys into it. Very quick coming assurance level of 5 speak again. So that's at the moment going planned, albeit it's something that we continue to focus on. Marcus, you'll know number of us this morning just to have a round table on where things are at. So it's something that is front and centre all our minds. And I think I'll finish on the finance from the month 8 finished again on budgets. Again, great news, and my thanks to Denise and the team for achieving that. Albeit the rest of the year is going to be tricky, but we see ourselves still ending up break even by the year end. Next year is going to be a completely different story. We'll have a whole series of pressures that will come upon us, and we'll go through that when we get there. But just to give a forewarning on what the numbers might look like next year. I'll pass over to Denise. We'll take any questions now.
Do you have any questions or should we move to Denise? There's nobody showing big, so thank you very much indeed. We'll move to Denise on your. Should we do the finance report before we go to the performance report?
Yeah. Okay. So as just said, we are on plan. We do have pressures within our budgets currently. It's not easy. Everybody's working really hard to manage their budgets. We have done a forecast, and we're pretty confident at this stage that we'll be able to deliver the required plan for year end. Just moving on to the efficiencies, we do have full work schemes. We are slightly ahead of plan on delivery, and that is on a current basis. So all good news. We have seen some movement on the schemes. However, we are confident we will deliver the required target again on a recurrent basis. Regarding agency spend, we remain below the financial target at the moment. However, we are still over 3.2% target for a percentage pay bill. We have completed a forecast, and that takes into account demand, winter pressures, and from what we're seeing, we will miss this target financially. We think at the moment it might be in the realms of 150k, but that does depend on the next number of months to end the financial year. However, if you do look at our spend, our forecast spend compared to 2024, we will have reduced our spend by 4.5 million. So there is significant progress being made against this. Just moving on to the capital programme, we are slightly below. We've been below plan for the last few months, and that's due to three large schemes. Slight slippage, so there'd be amount due to requirement of planning permission and also some procurement tenders, because these are large financial schemes. Two of those have already started, and one is to commence next week. So confident we will actually deliver full capital spend. Just like not currently in the report, but just before Christmas, the national capital team announced some bids we could bid for, and we were successful. So we've been awarded 90k for LED lighting, which will roll out and spend by the end of this financial year, and 200k for cyber security. So that was the month 8. I was just going to highlight on 25-26 looking forward. As you know, I did do a presentation at the last Trust Board development session. So just looking ahead for 25-26, guidance is expected on the 28th of January. What we are hearing is actually next year is a financial reset. The money is the money, and we have to set realistic plans on that basis. We do know there will be fewer targets, although there will be some key ones, particularly around UEC, ambulance turnarounds, 18-week waits, length of stay pathway, CYP access and wait times, and as we've already said previously, out-of-area placements. We do know service development funds we get from the ICB. We get this for our community mental health neighbourhood teams and our mental health school teams. That will go into ICB core allocations next year, and it won't be a ring-fenced either. We're hearing mental health investment standards is still in place, although there will be key performance indicators that we need to deliver for that. And we are hearing agency spend will reduce, that cap will reduce further. So currently 3.2%, we're not delivering, maybe reduced to 2%. And we're also hearing there may be a target for bank spend. There is an expectation that productivity will improve, and national team will be sending out some opportunity packs. And that is based on using the model health system and benchmarking information. So we just received those yesterday, so we'll be looking into those. And we're also hearing they'll be introducing a suite of mental health productivity metrics. So that's looking again at agency spend, length of stay, out of area, and there will be some specific metrics on talking therapies. This is around cost per episode across the three domains. And they are looking at community physical health as well, although they haven't said what those will look like. We do know that next year national efficiency expectation is 2%. So it's 2% plus anything else we need to deliver for any of our internal cost pressures that we have. That's some of the headlines that we're hearing. I mean, the devil will be in the detail next week. But next year is going to be a very, very challenging year so far. Just finishing off, Beaja's already alluded to, we have done an indicative 25-26 plan. That will change based on what the guidance says. We have already started mapping that out because we are hearing some of the numbers and we're updating our plan. And we've also done a further 2-year model. Won't call it a plan, it's a model. So it's taken out 25-26 plan, suite of agreed assumptions that we've agreed at an ICS level to tell us what the next 2 years look like as well. And again, it's all will be refined the more information we get. So that's where we are on finance.
Thanks, Denise. I think that's what you call a game of two halves. This year doing okay. Next year is looking very, very difficult. But I don't think it's anything more than we anticipated, to be honest. But we'll wait for the detail of your assessment. There's nobody showing there, so can we note Denise's report, please, as well as Beaja's, and then move on to anything in the performance report that we've not touched on elsewhere, Denise.
Just want to bring out in the alert actually the high profile metrics. We're below the required standard, including several system targets. So these metrics require immediate attention. We do have recovery plans in place. They are monitored at Finance and Performance Committee. But the impact on these is actually some of these we're the worst performing trust either in the region or national. So we need to make some headroads on those. We have this as a risk on the risk register. Due to the impact of performance on our patients and staff reputation. So that is on our risk register. And just to note, Robert mentioned it earlier on, is the new NHS oversight and assurance framework that will be coming next year. That will be key for our performance team, ensuring our reporting, monitoring and presentation of the required information is in place. So we don't know more about that. We haven't seen the detail, but we will be awaiting that.
Okay, thank you for that. If there's nothing else, we can note that report as well. Thank you, Denise. I know the metrics we've got quite robust improvement plans in place, but we do need to see those metrics change. Okay. Thank you. If we could, thank you, Beaj. Thank you, Denise. And we'll move now on to Martin and the Audit Committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'll take paper as read. The area that I should explain more to the board is the alert in relation to the potential for the head of internal audit report to be less than significant assurance. We're used to having very fulsome full assurance from the head of internal audit. Just to be clear, we've heard some of this through the workforce Q&S report. We have two types of internal audit report. Those that are pretty much mandatory around our financial controls and processes, and those continue to have significant or full assurance from our internal report and play very much into the external finances and the true and fair opinion we have maintained for ever since Trust was created as part of the comments on our financial statements. The second element relates to those areas of internal audit where we choose through a process that involves the chair of each committee and the executive responsible for that committee working with internal audit to point them at areas where we have some concerns about process compliance or the cultural aspects associated with that process compliance. And it's in those areas that we have had actually four reports this year where we've had less than significant assurance. So either weak or limited assurance. To some extent, we take that as a positive that we are pointing things at the right areas, and it is up to the committees then to check progress of those once we've had the internal reports, which we revisit as part of the audit committee review of any audit that hasn't had significant or full assurance, and we will do that certainly next year. But it also points to how we need to align that with the improvement journey that Scott is leading on, and making sure that actually it's fine having policies, but if we don't have the cultural discipline around implementing those policies effectively and consistently across the business, then parts of our improvement journey are not being demonstrated. So the risk of the head of internal auditing being not providing significant assurance feeds into the value for money aspect of our external audit report, aligned to last year we did have a moderated audit report in relation to best use of resources, and there is potential that we will be in the same position again. Denise and I had significant discussions with our external auditors to be very clear on how they come to those conclusions, and make sure that we are very clearly cited on that, so that we can take the appropriate actions. And those are ongoing discussions. But I just wanted to alert the board that there is a risk that we will have a less than full head of internal audit, which is something we are not used to at this trust.
Thank you, Martin. Can we all note the report from audit committee, especially the last item Martin to our attention in the alert section? Okay, if we can note that report, thank you, Martin. And we move on to the Charitable Funds Committee. So.
Yes, so we've also adopted the same framework, and you can see we've got no alerts. I'll just be very brief on the report. You'll see that we talked a little bit about changing our approach, so that we did specific fundraising, and that's something we'll be discussing further at the next meeting. Always bearing in mind that there are a number of leagues of friends that operate within our region, and we want to affect in a negative way what they do. You'll see that we try very hard to give money out on 50-50 ratio from staff and service users or their carers, and we try and make sure that all SDUs benefit. Sometimes we don't get demands equally from all SDUs, so we have to repurpose the funds, but we do encourage anyone to apply for charitable funding if they want something, and that's really all I have to say, unless anyone's got any questions.
Thank you, Susie. As we are the corporate trustee to that charity, you're on the board. Any questions at all? No, thank you very much indeed for that. We then move Carol, the Mental Health Club.
Yes, thank you again.
Joint committee, should I call it, actually?
Yes, it is. Mental Health Joint Committee. And that is a useful reminder that the report that's coming to this committee is very similar to the one that goes to the ICB as well. Very interesting times at the moment, and I think for all the reasons that you've picked up in all sorts of report, and a lot of those areas of concern, if you want to call it that, are reflected in this report as well. Something I'm going to take away from this meeting is quite interesting that we've got some of the missed targets being shown as alerts on some of our reports. On our ones, it's still there as advice. So I think that might be something that we have to look at, see if we get consistency across that. Because the missed targets aren't aren't being met, then they're not showing up as alerts. It means that as far as we're concerned, and as far as we're being assured, work is carrying on all of those topics, and we are receiving regular updates on them. Mental health review. It's interesting time for this joint committee at the moment. It does slightly like we're treading water, if I'm honest, because until we have clarity about what the joint committee's responsibilities will be going forward, it's quite hard to know where we should focus our efforts, other than those things that we've already heard about. The other consequence this is having under our advice section, the last two items about mental health SDF proposal and the Inpatient Service Development Fund. If it's anything to do with the ICB at the moment, it's very hard, understandably, to get any funding for anything. And I know that we have expressed concerns about, and we certainly did at the meeting, that there is money there, that it needs attention, but the ICB is not really willing to commit any spend on this. Rob may want to say about this in a moment. So difficult times. We've heard also from Denise earlier about the SDF and the investment standard, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that actually says next week in terms of what that includes and what the targets are, whether once they want now, whether they like something different. So again, that will all be built into a plan for the joint committee as we move forward. I'd like to just finish really on a little bit under the achievement section, because I think certainly working with my co-chair Sarah Raystrick, one of the things we did want to try and make sure with the joint committee is that we didn't lose sight of the health inequalities, and we have been trying in any of the discussions we've had to try and make sure that we include that conversation about who isn't getting our services missing. And I think picking up on that earlier conversation we have got there about the SMI health checks and about some of the specific work that's happening and that individual focus and the questions that are being asked in that joint committee. Sue, did you want to add anything else to that?
Well, I suppose an interesting reflection that we had presentation on mental health inequalities. I actually led on it, but I pulled slides together with colleagues from across the system. A lot of the services we provide were set specifically to address health inequalities. So, for example, early intervention and psychosis. It was reflected back by a GP colleague what that often does mean they don't make reasonable adjustments for severe enduring mental illness because they can refer on teams. So I put it into the chat because obviously I want to just highlight that now. I think we take a lot from our approach in learning disabilities where people do understand the reasonable adjustments involving carers, different materials, easy read. We haven't got that comparison in the same way in mental health. So I pulled the slides I circulated around, but I think we're doing a lot in this space. But when you get into this system, can people enduring mental illness universally access mainstream services? You start having conversations about what needs to be done. So I was really interested and pleased by the energy in the room from partners they might be to do as well as ourselves.
Thank you, Sue. And I think, Carol, your committee especially, and a number of others are bumping into the fact that the planning and financial guidance from NHS England, which was due originally the first week of September, is now at least 6 and probably going to be nearly 8 weeks late. And that means decision making on the future is extremely difficult. And so it's absolutely not criticism of the ICB. It's just the position they find themselves in, and as partners find themselves as well. Okay, if we can note Carol's, then thank you very much. And we move then on to proposals regards to some changes in the mental health legislation. Jill.
Yes, the board will be aware that we discussed this at our development session in December. So just very quickly to recap, this committee was originally established to achieve two purposes really. The first was to provide assurance to the board about our work relating to the Mental Health Act, in terms of activity and triangulation of data about incidents, etc. And secondly, to make sure that we heard from our associate hospital managers who are the people who do the very important job sitting not as employees of the trust, but on behalf of trust board, particularly the non-execs, in determining whether people should have sections of Pell or whether they should be discharged from their sections on occasion. So they undertake tasks similar to the first tier tribunal. I think we've done really well in the committee in terms of having those really positive relationships between hospital managers and the non-execs. Particularly would like to thank Sue for chairing the committee and managing what can be quite a challenging meeting in terms of trying to balance those different aspects of meeting, because I think it's fair to say the hospital managers are less focused on looking at the detail of some of the assurance reports, and obviously much more focused on feeding back on their experience or best practice they might see or areas of learning. And so we've had the discussion previously as to whether actually, given where we've got to now with the Quality and Safety Committee, we should actually consider standing down mental health legislation as a committee and feeding the data that we need to into Quality and Safety to make sure that we've got good oversight and assurance about our processes around management of the Mental Health Act. It is really important that we don't lose sight of the positive work that we've done in establishing the relationships and getting the feedback from the hospital managers. And so the proposal is that once we stand down the committee as a board committee, that we continue to have a quarterly meeting with myself and a number of the non-execs and the hospital managers to actually maintain those relationships, get that really important feedback, deliver training, deliver updates about the board, and any areas of best practice, etc. And so the proposal is stand down as a board committee. We would need to bring back if the board agrees next time to board, because we'll need to change the reference for Quality and Safety Committee. And I'd probably also then establish clear terms of reference just for the meeting that I am suggesting chair continue to be chaired by Sue and bring those back as well. That would obviously require just some consideration working through and we need to feed through the Quality and Safety Committee and agree the frequency. So I'd be looking to paper if agreed to the next Quality and Safety Committee about the frequency of reporting, how we'll report, the format of that, and the amended terms of reference. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Jill. Just the one from Martin.
Yeah, thank you. I'm 100% supportive of the proposal as tabled, but I just want to check on a couple of things. One is I'm aware that the Quality and Safety Committee has quite a congested agenda at the moment. And the one thing that the MHLC did do was focus on our responsibilities under the Mental Health Act to almost the exclusion of other things. And just want the assurance that we will be picking up areas that we've been focusing on MHLC around consent that led to the audit this year, but also the significant inequalities we've got around section data and steps we need to take to understand that in more detail and reduce those inequalities. I know it's not simply an issue for our area, but for other areas as well. So can we have that assurance that the Quality and Safety Committee will have time and capacity to take on those additional responsibilities?
I suppose the answer to that question lies within the chair of the Quality and Safety Committee. And just to illustrate, I would always try to maintain whomever is chairing the meeting of the hospital managers, so also Q&S. So there's that link between the hospital managers and Q&S, and the Mental Health Act is always there. So I think your question is incumbent on myself as chair of the board, if you like, the executives, and then incumbent upon Janet to ensure the time diligence is there at her committee. I think it's fair to say. But if I come to Matthew first, and then to Janet. Matthew.
I guess a question. I guess the observation is it's fairly unusual for a mental health trust not to have something that's equivalent to mental health scrutiny committee or something with that kind of statutory level of oversight. Are we confident that we can discharge our duties in a different way and still be assured of that oversight?
Can I suggest Janet offer some thoughts on that from a chair of Q&S. We've then got Jill from a perspective of leading on the mental health act in the trust, and if you can give any assurance around that, please.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I want to come in and say as chair of quality and safety, I was involved in the discussions with both Jill and Sue about how we took this forward. And the conversation we had around actually a number of years ago. This is actually what happened. But the proposal that we're bringing forward. That exactly as Martin said, quality and safety agenda was huge and was somewhat overwhelmed. So this couldn't be given time that absolutely deserved. But I think since then we have remodeled quality and safety, and the agenda is probably quite dramatically different to how it was. Maybe I'm trying to look back how many years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And I think with all the trust committees and trust board itself, a lot of work's been done on the papers to reduce the papers, the executive summaries. So actually discussions can be a lot more focused. So I felt that actually we do have with management the agenda, we will have the time to devote to this. And I think because we actually have the qualities group reporting in to Q&S, and one of the big things here is around health. Actually, it does make sense to work in this way. So I do recognise that will be the challenge, the chairing challenge of making sure that we can give it the time. But I think the advantage is that way the disadvantage. And I think the fact that Sue is a member of Q&S is really important, and should help to ensure that we actually do get the focus right.
Thank you, Janet. Jill.
I think one of the concerns that we've had in terms of whether of the committee and how it's currently operating is whether we are getting proper assurance on the Mental Health Act. And when we consider people that have been attending the legislation committee, it's actually quite different in terms of looking at other committees, and so that's been an area of concern as to whether the committee is properly giving board good quality assurance on the management and oversight of the work programme. And that's not a criticism of the people that are there. It's partly about how it's been operating in practice. And so when we look at the individuals who are core members of Quality and Safety Committee, they are probably better placed in order to deliver some of the in-depth questioning than perhaps is currently happening at Quality and Mental Health Legislation Committee.
Thank you, Jill. We'll conclude with Sue. And thank you, Sue, for raising this to start with as to how we can make things better, in essence, which is what this has been about. Sue.
Yes, I mean, I'd like to echo what Jill said. I think a lot of the associate managers wonder why they're being asked to give really board level assurance on issues which are potentially not within their purview. So I think the main assurance that we need to give the board is that we will monitor this going forward, and maybe set a date by which we can have a discussion about whether we have maintained the level of scrutiny which is appropriate. but potentially increase both awareness being discussed currently at mental health, and also emphasis on inequalities, because again, I feel that is something that QNS does deal with well, and is better resourced to deal with those questions than mental health committee is currently.
Thank you, Sue. So with all those explanations, caveats, and of course, we will continue to monitor how this moves forward if we approve this. So can I see approval of the board for the proposal as set out in the paper, and then Jill brings forward the two terms of reference for the two groups in the future. Does everybody agree? Yes. Anybody disagree, please? No. Okay. So that is approved. Thank you. And we'll. I think the conversation has been very useful in terms of ensuring that improvements that we desire are actually achieved. And we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you very much. So if we now move to the last couple of the agenda, which are standard report backs on two of our plans. First one, the green plan. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. So just wanted to highlight some things in the report. You know, we are delivering waste management, 100% waste avoiding landfill. We're doing really well on this. The target was set for 2026. We have delivered that during 2025. So we're well a year ahead on those plans. And we're also ahead on the food waste stream as well, which we're rolling out across the trust. LED lighting, we did have significant funding 23-24. As you just heard, we got more funding in 24-25. That's being rolled out. So at the moment, we've got 80% of our sites LED lighting, which is real progress. Solar panels. Again, last year we rolled out Malvern, and now they're producing 10% of our electricity on those sites. And we also had a green travel plan. Really good response. 28%, which we achieved still standard award for that. We are looking at the actions of that plan. It's about a 90-page document. It's really lengthy, but we're looking at some actions for that going into next year. Just to say, the green does expire March 2025. We are waiting for national guidance now, not due out until quarter one in 25-26. However, we are working on our green plan actions for next year, and that will go to the net zero program board in March. And just to say, in February, we will be coming to board the development session, and we will be bringing around CQC well led and the international financial reporting standards, the new ones. We're in year two, year two. Just to update board on where we are, what we've got to do, and obviously. 25-26 is the big year where we've got to evidence a lot of things. So we're bringing that to board in February. This year it's really about full governance processes in place and identifying what those managers' risks are. So that's the update, Chair.
Thanks, Denise. That report is full of good things and also good news. We're working well on it. Please pass on behalf of all aboard. I suspect our thanks to your team for working in this area. It goes on behind the scenes, but it is really important. And also thank you for your recruitment. I think we'll all be rushing towards making sure we hear those and the national finance standards. We couldn't get enough of that. I'm sure. Can we note Denise's report, please? Thank you very much. Move ourselves on to Lisa, our digital review of ICT. Denise, Lisa.
Thank you, Mark. Just a reminder to the board that this is a assurance review of the strategy that was agreed and approved in 2021, and not anything that's been implemented since then. The strategy was reviewed last year, and the agreement was that we would extend the strategy to focus on the completion of the EPMA rollout and the patient rollout, as well as the implementation of the Rio EPR that's been mentioned a few times. And Beej has just put a huge jigs on it going this morning. But there's a few things that I would just like to pull out, because that is the only team have been working on. There's been a number of other schemes that we've delivered and completed. Really, firstly around making our network and the ability for our staff to work more resilient. So the implementation of some UPSs, which in essence is just battery packs that keep the network up when we have power failures, and increase size of our bandwidth across all of our sites as part of our new network tender that was approved last year. We've also done a lot of work in terms of keeping the trust safe. As Robert had in his report, we've seen increased activity in cyber attacks across the NHS, and we are a really good target for cyber. But what we are consistently doing is meeting our patch rollout, as well as moving on to Server 2022 and Windows 11, and that again will increase our resilience and our cyber security as we move forward. A really good piece of work that we've achieved this year. We reviewed the amount of spend that was put against IT kit, so laptops, mice, keyboards, those sorts of things. And actually, at the start of April 2024, that spend was considerable, and we couldn't quite work out where that was going. So we introduced something called Device for Life. So when you start with your trust, you get given a set of kit that you take wherever you go within the trust. So if you change role, move to a different team, you take that kit with you. You don't get a new set every time you change roles. And actually, what we have seen is a huge decrease in the spend in IT kit over the last year. So that's been a real success. And it also ties in with the change of face-to-face induction, because we can give that kit to that user on day one. We can check that they can log on, and they're good to go from their inductions. That's been a real shift in how we've been delivering kit. The other bit in how we've been delivering kit, trialing Amazon style locker in pouch, where if somebody's got a faulty piece of equipment, they can put that faulty piece of equipment in the locker and take out a new laptop or a new phone or tablet, and they can carry on working, collect the broken one and fix that, and either swap it back out, or they stick with the one that they've collected. The other bit that really we haven't made an awful lot of progress on, although we have achieved what set out in the original strategy, is the digitalisation patient. Primarily that's been because the work in this area nationally has been focused on elective care rather than mental health, and therefore because it's an ICS strategy, actually it's driven towards our acute via the ICS rather than to us. There's also an element of actually from Rio to Rio. Do we want to input an awful lot of resource into making care notes different. It's really difficult to get data out of care notes into another application, and that interface is really difficult. So the decision is, we'll wait till Rio's in place, and we can put a strategy in place as to how we do that connecting patients moving forward once we've got Rio in place. The only other thing that I was just going to bring attention to was that there was a really challenging revenue budget attached to digital in 23-24. Over the past 18 months, we've done a considerable amount of work with our procurement team and our finance teams to reduce that. And actually, all of the improvements we've been making and the improvements that we've seen has been less spend rather than more spend. And we need to continue how we do that. Figure out how we do that and continue going forward. So in essence, the assurance rating is as it was at the last review. As I said, reviewed it and agreed that's what it would be. And we've really focused on the three main areas, the three systems, and the board just asked to note the content of the update, recognise the work that's happened, and agree the assurance levels.
Thank you, Lisa. So with that, can we do that? Agree with Lisa's assurance levels, nods around the screen. Yes, and I'd like to note incredibly, so you cost improvements as well as improvements in service delivery to our front line is exactly the way we should be going. So thank you very much. I know you're doing that whilst delivering one of the biggest projects, NHS digital project. You could change the PR. So well done to you and the team. I know a big team behind it, and all credit to you. So that is all agreed, approved. Thank you. Moving on to item number 26, there's a couple of reports which you can find elsewhere to read. They have been considered elsewhere. There are no documents for sealing. We have benefit from the appointment of a consultant psychiatrist, Dr. Joseph Miles, who Robert, myself, and John run the recruitment panel, and he will be an excellent addition working over in the new Athlon ward, or whatever the name it takes. I've not heard the new name, but it'll start with an H, I suspect. Welcome to Dr. Miles, and also will come through another psychiatrist appointed last week. That will come on the next board minutes. So we're having some of those areas of recruitment. Colleagues, is there anything we've heard today that we think should be included on the board assurance framework that we need to alter, amend, or elevate into the BAF? I can't think of anything. Does anybody else have anything they wish to propose? I don't think there is. I think we're capturing most things. So congratulations to you and the team for doing that. That's good news. And thank you. The date of our next meeting is the 20th of March. We reconvene. May I suggest we reconvene 1:30 to allow for travelling. I know that's quarter of an hour later than anticipated. My apologies for controlling the agenda better than that. There are some important discussions that were needed, important information. So thank you for all your contributions. And I will see you for the development session, private session, King's Court 2 at